Hey everybody, this is Melina from ScrapbookingwithME.com and Me Crafty Scrapper here on YouTube and Instagram. Today is another episode of Scrapbusters, and we are on our 1 year anniversary. This is the 52nd episode of Scrapbusters, y'all. Yay! Throw the banners and the balloons and the confetti and all that stuff. This is our 1 year anniversary of Scrapbusters, and I am so glad that you have stuck around for this year, and I hope that I've given you some content that you haven't seen before, and maybe some things that you have seen before, and I just kind of give it a little twist to help you get rid of some much needed scraps out the door. These will be some collaged hearts that we do. I'm going to show you how I collaged the hearts. I did that off camera, most of it, but I will show you the process kind of sped up a little bit in just a minute on how I did these little collaged hearts. Too cute. But I want this Scrapbusters to be just a little bit bigger than what I usually do for clusters or pockets or whatever I show you on Scrapbusters using our scraps. So we have a couple of little elements. I want you to use a heart. You don't particularly have to collage your hearts like I'm about to show you I did, but I want you to use a heart, and I want you to use a either a number or a word phrase. So on this one I have 2 word phrases, or a number phrase and a word phrase. And then on this one I just have a word phrase. Okay, and even if you don't have any of these in your stash, you can easily make word phrases by just cutting out little strips of scraps and writing yourself on those little strips of scrap, or you can type it up, print it out from your computer, and then cut them and get little word phrases. So easy peasy. And then anybody can cut a heart. I'll show you in just a minute. This is what I used, cutting out these hearts from collaged masterboard. I just cut them like we used to in school. Easy. So you gotta have a heart, you gotta have a word or a number phrase with your little cluster. But yep, that's what we're doing. We're making clusters, but they're clusters with collaged hearts and word phrases. We are starting this with some collage book page, and all I did was got a piece of cardstock from my stash that I knew I wouldn't be using. This, you can cover up any kind of cardstock. This just happens to be like a tan taupe looking color. I put 3 sheets of book page, so one here, and then one lapped over the top in the middle, just to kind of cover up the seam that was down the middle. And then I got my collage page and just put the collage page all over the cardstock. Then I placed the book pages, then I put it on the back of this middle book page and placed it on top, and then kind of just went around the edges and made sure everything was on there well. This one right here I saw while I'm talking to you, it came up a little bit, so I'm going to plop that down with some more collage page. And there'll be more places, but you know, we'll fix that once we have our hearts going cut out. I just cut my heart with just like we used to do in school. You know, I just folded a piece of scrap cardstock, made myself a little heart shape, and I wanted it more tall and narrow than fat, because I don't want our cluster pieces being too big. And then I got some of the tarnished brass spray from Tim Holtz, and instead of splattering to get this effect, I just took this off and poured it on, and then I used my silicone spatula and just rubbed it in a few places, that edge and that edge. And then I used some walnut stain. That's the oxide. And then I did splatter it. And you can see I'm getting some really cool oxide effects there because that page was still wet when I splattered it. So I'm getting some really cool oxide looking stuff coming up on that. And as you saw before on my little intro, all I did was, I'm going to lay these down once all this is dry, of course. Lay these down and trace around them, and I'm going to cut those out, get as many as I can out of this, and then I'll have scrap paper left out of this too. And then we'll start building our clusters, and I'll show you how they all come together. Right now I'm using my heat tool, and I'm going to try to hurry this little process up a little bit. And when we get our hearts cut out, they'll be more sturdy. They'll be on book page, but they'll be more sturdy. That's why I made this collage kind of masterboard thing to cut the hearts out with, because just cut out book page hearts would have been really too thin for what I'm wanting to use them for. So I'm going to finish drying this, and then we'll come back. I'm just going to trace all of these. I might give you a sped up little version of when I'm tracing these out. I'm going to cut all of them out, and then we'll start making our clusters. So I got 15 hearts out of that one sheet of cardstock that I collaged, and I have a script stamp here that is from Prima. It's just an old Prima stamp. I don't think they even make it anymore. And I'm going to do just a little bit of stamping on these, especially the ones that don't have a lot going on. So like on the corner of that one, and then on the side of this one, and then most of that one on that one side, this one on this side here. And see, when you just barely do it, off stamp it like that, you get a really cool effect. And then for these that are pretty much covered, I was just going to do just a little bit of something on those, nothing too major, because they're already covered quite a bit. And I especially want to see that oxide effect that they all have. That one's got some really cool oxide look to it. But the top is not too covered, so I had to do a little something. Do a little bit more at the bottom of that one. Maybe just at the top of that one. And just off to the side on that one, and the whole side of that one. Okay, so then that I was using my Oxide Black VersaFine ink. We also carry this in the shop. Then I was going to get my Vintage Photo ink, and while that stamping that we just did dries, I'm going to ink all of the edges of my hearts. I mean, and that just gives it a nice little finished effect there. I love that. Let's get one that doesn't have too much stamping done on it. I'll show you after I ink the edges. It's got a lot of that tarnished brass in it, so it's kind of shimmery looking. That is so pretty. So I'm going to do that to the rest of these hearts. I'm going to clean up my messy mat, clean up my fingers. My hands are all inky. And then we'll start putting together some clusters. Now with my clusters, I'm also using a little bit of fabric. So with this one, I used just some lace fabric that I've got over here on my stash. And then on this one, I used a little bit of dyed cheesecloth back behind it, and then a piece of lace trim there. I have some of this Stamperia glamour paste, and when I have finished the cluster, I've went around just with my finger and put a little bit of paste on there. It gives it just a little bit more glitz and glam, so I like that. I'm also using the new Tim Holtz number strips ephemera pack. We have those in the shop if you are looking for some little number phrases, number strips. And then I also have some pieces cut out from digitals from let's see, my digital hobby helper on Etsy. And then these, I believe, are on our blog, ScrapbookingwithME.com's blog, and they're just some script words: blessed, memories, create, journey. There's all kinds of little things. I have some of these little pieces left over from a kit, and they're just kind of like little ad things and newsprint and dictionary page and stuff like that. And then little stamps that are also left over from one of those kits, like that. So, and I've already stamped on those. I've shown y'all how I stamped on those. So I did use this older Prima stamp, but you don't have to stamp on yours if you don't want to. I inked around all of the hearts, and now we're ready to make some more clusters. So I have this Tim Holtz paper here. I used it on the back of this one, and I thought we could use it again. I love this dark torn look there on the edge, and we might could put the heart off to the edge a little bit too. And let's cut some of this fabric. I don't know if we'll use all of it, but we'll just cut off. No, we won't use all of that. That's a lot of fabric. And it kind of looks like a heart. Look at there. I've cut it and it kind of looks like a heart. So if I did half of that, just a little bit of that there. Yep. Let's trim that fabric off about here, straight across, and then again right here. Just cut that one other lobe off there, and we can use that on a future one. So have that fabric there, have the heart off to the side there, maybe another little something sticking out from down here, and we need to go ahead and cut this off just about there. And I will trim the edges or corner round this one just because. Have it a little bit different than the other one, the straight edge of that one. And let's get our fabric glue and put some of that down here, so where we know that this fabric will go. Just lay that on there, And then we need a little something else. Maybe a little bit of book page, and this is some food color dyed book page. And maybe off to the edge like that. And a little something else maybe. If we put this back there and the heart on top of that, and maybe this on top of that. I like how that's coming together. Very cute. And have that a little more off to that side. Yeah, that's pretty. I like that. And then we'll get our word phrase to go up over the top there. So let's go ahead and glue this down with some fabric glue. I'm using the Fabrifix. We have this in the shop also. I feel like most everything I'm using today has been something that we have in the shop, and I like that. I like supporting our own business. It helps us a lot too. I'm going to just ink the edges of that a little bit and just put it on. Go ahead and, I've got the fabric glue out. Go ahead and put it down with some fabric glue. Across the bottom there. And then get our heart put on. I think maybe I'll put just a little something back here. Let's trim off a little something to put back there. I don't want anything huge because I like the blackness of that. How dark that is. But if I did something like that and hid it back behind the heart, that would work. Let's get that white edge taken care of, and more fabric glue, and just pull that lace back, and then just have it kind of barely peeking out from the edge of that lace fabric. I like that. And let's put just a little daub of fabric glue back behind that and press down, and then go ahead and put our heart on with fabric glue too. And I think I will overlap that just a little bit, and then get my messy rag and get that excess off of there. Okay, and then ink the edges of that background. Okay, it looks like a little journal spot, little journal card, and there's room on the back that we could do that. It is upside down though. Now we would have to probably cover that up if you're not into things being upside down. You'd need to fix that. I like that. It looks a little big for this cluster though, so let's go to our number strips over here. Most all of these are small, and so I like that for, oh yes, that one is cute. I like that for our little clusters like this, and maybe two. Let's just look and see what that would look like if I did. Oh yeah, I like that. So let's ink these little bitty pieces and get them glued on. That fabric glue likes to string, kind of like hot glue does. So that's why you see me tugging and pulling at my fingers trying to get it off of me. Okay, and then I'll get my regular liquid glue. Get that put on there. And then this little label put on there. Okay, and then I'll get the paste. We had this in the shop for a while and wasn't going too great, so we just discontinued that in the shop. Now if anybody would like some of this, just let me know and I'll get some more ordered. But I just put it on my finger and just kind of blot it around a little bit, cake it up some in some places, and then just barely have it on the edge in other places. And I really like the look of that. Very cute. I like that. So there is another heart cluster with word or number label made. Right, so here are my hearts I still have left over. I have 3 more clusters to go that I've got put together so far. And so that will give me, what, 3, 4, 5, 6 that I'll be able to show you at the end. I haven't put these together, haven't glued them all down, but I have found that when I'm mass making, if I'll go ahead and just start layering different ones, and then when I find stuff in my little scrap bowl, I go, oh, okay, that will look good on that one, or that one would look good on that one. And I have found that that's easier for me than just going along and trying to find different stuff for one thing. So I just start layering a few at a time, and that makes my mass making go super quick. I love it. So this one has got a little red background to it, and some little trim and cheesecloth and a die cut, some book page. Then this one's got some dictionary page and fabric and a stamp. Love that one. And then this one is a little bit brighter than the rest of them. Got a green star background with some napkin and other little pieces from my scrap bowl, and then some cheesecloth and a keep going little word label. I love that one. It's nice, bright and cheery. All of your junk journal type things do not have to be dark and grungy. You can do other things with your stuff. I also want to show you that this is my cutoffs from that paper, the whole board that I cut all of my hearts from. And so I'll put this in my scrap bowl too and use it down the road on something. I'm going to get these put together. I'll get you some still shots at the end. I hope you have enjoyed this Scrap Busters. This is just kind of like a salute to all of y'all with the hearts incorporated into it. Just a little extra something for an Scrap Busters challenge, just to thank y'all for sticking around for a whole year. A year, y'all. We've been doing this a year. I thank you so much for watching. Y'all have a blessed day. You are my people. So I usually show you a heart at the end, you know, if I can remember it. And so that just incorporates that just a little bit more too. Y'all have a blessed day. Bye, y'all.